your attention, please. It's with great pleasure I will like to introduce a great friend of ours and supporter, Mr. Henry Gilbey.
Who's going to heckle me? I know it. Now this is when fishing looks cool. I think it's very easy to make it look good because there's nothing difficult about the shot. You know, big blue sky, fluffy white clouds. Do you know what a polarizing filter is? I'm using it to try and cut glare off the water, accentuate the blue sky, which then makes the white clouds pop, a certain depth of the picture. But I do watch people take photographs. I can't help it. I'm a complete photo snob. And I like to think about what you're seeing through your camera when you shoot stuff. I think about what I'm doing. And I would say 99.9% of the world, when they take a photograph, is standing like that. And I don't know, when you photograph, do you ever get down or do you ever get up, climb up? Most people,
right back, doesn't it?
You're losing, because we are all, I suppose, so used to seeing the world from our eye line. I think you create a different kind of impact when you change that view of the world. So that's just a simple case of, you see it slightly raised up, I just climb on a rock, hope you don't fall off because he's laughed, and just kind of snap away. It's obviously I love shooting, well, I'll talk about it later on, I like shooting wide. I like, when you've got a great mixture of kind of skies that go on forever, which they do in Kerry. And obviously my focal point is always going to be the fishermen, the anglers. You know, someone asked me the other day, they said, what kind of photographer are you, apart from being potentially rubbish, that's by the by, but what kind of photographer are you? And I'm not sure. In some respects I'm a landscape photographer, but I'm not, because I don't see landscapes. I always see the angler in the landscape. So I'm kind of a people and place. You know, I don't derive a huge amount of pleasure, you know, driving out to the moors and hiking for miles and waiting for a shot for 5 hours with a little flower lining up. That's great, but it's not me. I'd rather kind of put you, the anglers, in the middle of the situation and then try and make it look good. And then the blue skies are easy. You know, anyone, your camera knows what to do, your phone knows what to do. It's an easy thing to expose for, there's no problems, the camera's not going to have a hissy fit. But it's not always, you know, I like it when it's dramatic. I like it when you've got to think. You know, when I'm doing specific photograph fly fishing, for example, you know, blue sky is easy, anyone can shoot it. But it's when it gets tough, when you've actually got to think, you know, how do I make, I drove past a spot yesterday by pure chance, I photographed a job at, and it was horrendous. Flat moorland, grey skies. It's the kind of job you get to, and you think, Jesus, how am I going to make it look good? But you just want to work, think about what you get. Like that kind of thing, okay? You see, you can tell by the tonality, the look of the image, the light was poo. Okay, the light was garbage. So I have this thing, I've always had it, is I've got this thing I take the sky out of the equation, because our cameras are amazing. Even phones, which I hate, they do take alright pictures, I will concede, but your digital sensor, you know, like film, it cannot see the range of light that our eyes can. You know, in here at the moment, I can see you in perfect exposure, I can see the mid-range there, and outside is perfectly exposed. If I took a photograph of that now, your camera's going to have a hissy fit, okay? Because it cannot, doesn't matter even if it's a whiz-bang iPhone 15, it cannot cope with the level of light difference between inside and outside. So it's going to expose one or the other. So if I photograph this, if I was to photograph that wide and go up beyond the cliff, I've got very grey, kind of dank skies, I'm going to lose something in the photograph. If I want to expose for him, I want to make him correct, you know, bright green, and I want to make the water look right, I'm going to lose the sky. The sky will go, even though sensors are amazing these days, you know, compared to digital sensors 10 years ago, they're a lot better, but I can't hold it. So I'm looking at this, I'm on a long lens, as in, you know, of 70 to 200 mil. Does that make any sense? Yeah, basically I'm using the tools I've got. And also I'm trying to make it look kind of cool. You know, it's a big, rough, violent sea. I had some people complaining about the shot, saying, "Oh, it's dangerous." Which I do get. Yeah, I mean, what can I do? But it's never actually as, because I'm not cheating, but I'm using, I hope, my knowledge of what's going on. When you use a long lens, I'm compressing reality. If I shot this wide, but if I was down on that rock there and shot up like that, you're going to lose the sea. But I want to make that crashing sea, I want to make that a real part of my photograph. I want to put the angler in the middle of it. So by focusing on him, from as far away as I can get, on a 200mm lens, it's quite long, I'm compressing, I'm bringing, by the way, I think it's the physics of the glass, the way the lens works, I'm bringing sea and angler together so he looks closer to it than he actually is. So, oh, it's really dangerous. So, okay, he can get swept in, but he doesn't care. And if he does, I get the photograph and I go and rescue him. Because you've got to never forget to click the shutter first. But I'm just trying to work with, I can't force nature, I can't force what's there. I love this kind of thing, and I'm trying to get slightly intimate with it as well. And I'm sorry if I'm talking out of my, I'm not some kind of artistic, I do it as I go along. But I want to make fishing dramatic, I want to look cool. I can't see what's going on, so I've got shadow. Can you all read that, okay? Yeah. Right, think about, again, if most people stand like that, or, they lie fish on the floor and do that, it's entirely up to you what you do, but just think you won't realise when you look at an image, a photograph, your eye is being, if it's a good photograph, it's being drawn in without you knowing, okay? I suppose in a fishing photograph, in the fish, you're going to look at the fish first. When you photograph, don't just, but if you want to make it look better, don't just stand there, just kind of hang back, look around and think, okay, so let's say you've got muggins fishing over here, and I want to make my mate look cool, it's nice and light. Think about a way, okay, of trying to bring your eye in. You're almost, if you give you just one reason to look at the photograph, it's lost its impact, okay? And here, again, it's very simple, but I'm trying to use the rock formation there to bring you in, and then highlight on the angle. And obviously, I'm shooting a motor drive, so I'm shooting multiple frames a second. So I'm trying to get this kind of splashing water, okay? And I'm also using, if I said the word aperture, would anyone be at all comfortable with that? Okay, oh, brilliant. Because I don't know if you can use apertures on phones. Maybe you can, sorry. But I'm basically using, I've got to get this right, I'm using a very large aperture, okay? Because I'm not shooting landscape, but I sort of am. But obviously, the focal point of my photographs with this kind of thing is always the angler. I want him or her to be pin sharp, and I'm making a decision what I choose to have sharp around him or her. But because of this, because I'm trying to use this frame to come in like that, I've used a very large aperture. I think it's f2.8. That means basically everything's wide open, masses of light flooding into my camera, and what it does is it defocuses the foreground and the background, and he's pin sharp. The little waves catching the sunlight there are pin sharp. It's just my way of trying to isolate him and, I suppose, add impact. I feel like, sorry, I hope that's true. It is true. Okay, this is my biggest problem in fishing. I'll photograph fishing. I'll photograph most kinds of fishing. I've had to do some jobs in the past that aren't so exciting as others, maybe, but. Look, we all go bass fishing here. Some of us go shore fishing, where we have very visual kind of very visual indicators of where we are. And especially this day and age with photographs going everywhere over Facebook or whatever, all that sort of stuff, people are looking for fishing spots. Now, I know some of us, we try and protect when we go fishing, and it may be construed as selfish. I don't think it is. I want to, I don't know about you, I kind of want to fish without hordes of people around. I also worry about, I worry about certain locations that if people come in and they kill a lot of big fish, then it affects where you're fishing very badly. And also, I suppose, I'm in a weird situation where I've fished a lot of people over the years who've entrusted a lot of information with me, and so I can't not photograph because it breaks my balls not to. You know, I have to. If things look cool, I've got to photograph. It's nothing to do with work. Obviously, I've got to sell photographs to work, but it's way beyond that, and always has been. But I've got to look around and think, God, geez, you know, that rock there is pretty obvious. I can't photograph this, or I can't. But I do. I'll always photograph what I want, but then I tend to hold a lot of stuff back because it can't. See, that is quite a boring photograph. It kind of, in a context of a fishing article, I can say plenty. You know, talk about tumbling water and current and this, that, whatever. But right of that, it's breathtaking. I shot some beautiful photographs looking right, which shows exactly where we are, and so I can't do it. Then left of it is arguably even prettier. So I'm kind of there going, Jesus, that's my obvious shot. You know, again, polarizing filter. Try not to, if you can all the time, to place your horizon exactly in the middle of the frame. That's kind of almost, just try and vary your horizons. You know, use the sky or use the sea. I'm trying to again lead you in these rocks here like that kind of line there to the angler. But what I really want to do is show that way because it's so much nicer. You know, the angle of the sun's working better. The rocks lead towards it, whatever, headlands. But I'm sure you all have this when you go fishing. You kind of want to tell. You know, I'm perfectly open with what I do. Try and help people out, and I hope they try and help me. But we all have to. I suppose we're a small island with millions of people. You know, where John lives down in Ireland, they've got far less people. Where I go fishing at home, there's not that many people fishing, but there are people looking for. And you've got to try and protect. I don't know about boat fishing. So, well, boat fishing or inshores is a problem.
Henry, can you just go back to that previous page?
Metal work. What does it?
Yeah. So I picked up from one of your blogs about the polarising filter.
Yes.
And I thought, brilliant. Okay, I'll start playing around with it. And then I thought, I haven't got a clue how to use this, so I went and read the articles which tell you technically you need it at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And when I started playing around with it, I realised that depending on your angle to the sun, you would get a different reflection from the sky.
Well, big time, yeah.
Can you just describe that a bit?
I'll hand you over to John Quinlan. No. Yes, there is polarisation. It works on the angle you are to the sun, and look, in a perfect world here, because I know that way it look better.
Because I'm looking at that, and you're quite close to the source of light, aren't you? You're not 90 degrees to it.
Yes, but the thing with fishing is, to me, fishing photography breaks all rules.
Yeah.
Because I know what they say, and if you were on Dartmoor, you would move 10 yards that way to achieve maximum polarization. You rotate the lens on the front of your camera. But, you know, I can't actually stand left or right because I'm in the water. So, more than, probably because I don't know, I can't explain it properly, but it's more a case of, if you're on a boat, move around.
Yeah.
You know, often when I'm on a boat, I'll ask the skipper, can you swing the boat around?
Yeah.
And sometimes you get too polarised, you back off. You know, it's easy to go way over, and if you're on the perfect angle, you can get these intensely blue skies that are actually too much. But on the boat, swing the boat, move the boat. You actually probably do it easier than we can offshore, because sometimes we can't move. And then I can't move as well because I don't want to show that way. Does that help at all?
It does. I'm just seeing different effects, and I don't really understand why I'm getting different.
But
I know the angles are different, but I
polarising filter to me is the most useful filter. I would never go out without it, because I'm trying to, you know, cut glare off the water, give you a bit of a glimpse into it more, and it accentuates the blue skies, tends to highlight oranges. It's cutting a lot of glare off, basically. But I'm just, next time you're out in a perfect, unless you've got a high sun, blue, just walk around like that, walk around 360, and you'll find there'll be an angle that's horrendous. But in theory, it's 90 degrees to where you are. But it never works like that, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
Does that help at all?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
I'm trying to bluff the fact that
Could I add on that? I don't think I've taken the polarising filter off my camera in 25 years.
Jesus, you need a filter wrench to get it off, I think.
Well, different cameras. Do you have any situations where it's bad? I mean, because you can leave it just at neutral, can't you? And then just
yeah, technically you can. I must admit, I don't like it. You know, here, I don't think it does grey days any favours.
But if you just have it at neutral.
I know, technically it is neutral, but I don't believe it is.
Okay.
But that's me being a snob. And also, polarising, but you lose a lot of light. You're losing 1 to 2 stops of light, which, you understand, f stops, you basically got to put a higher shutter speed, bump your ISO up. It's always, fishing photography is always compromised. I wanted to just talk you through one photograph in particular, because